I'm gonna load out for a sec because for some reason I'm at 4,000 ping, and I'm gonna load back in because we just finished the Overwatch spotlight, and it was pretty good. I say it was pretty good. I think that they did almost everything that they could to add content that people want and make the game look attractive. But is it enough? So for those who haven't seen, they just announced that they're dropping 5 heroes next week with the start of the new season, Season 1, in which they get rid of the 2 and are starting over again as Overwatch. And it'll be Season 1 with these 5 heroes being added. 2 heroes stick out a ton, which are Emery, which is somebody that was referenced in 2015 before the game even launched with some of the old cinematics. And Jetpack Cat, which is a little cat guy that was thought of as like potentially a new hero coming 8, 9, 10 years ago as like a concept hero that people were really, really excited about. And they're finally coming. Along with 3 other characters. One of them honestly kind of remind me of Emma in quite a few ways. And I think that was actually kind of a theme, is I noticed there was a lot of overlap. There was a lot of actually overlap with that, though. Did you guys notice that, like, the new healer guy kind of has the circle of healing AoE? It's like a reverse Mauga ult, but also he has the bouncing hat, just like Gambit's bouncing healing. And then Anran has a very similar kit to Phoenix, and actually when she dies in her ult, she rises back up and gets a second life, kind of how you rise as the Phoenix. Honestly, though, I don't hate it. Yeah, but neither do I. But I think it's actually very, very funny that the last few months have basically just been a war between Rivals and Overwatch people. At least I've had to deal with it because I tried to play both games. And thus, you know, everyone was saying that Rivals just ripped off Overwatch in a lot of ways. And then Rivals players were just screaming back at Overwatch, oh, Overwatch is just dead, blah, 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 blah. And then we have the big announcements this year. And there's a lot of just similarities and a lot of overlap, which is good for us as a consumer. But I just feel so tired because this is like kind of what I always thought was going to happen. And it's good for all of us, right? Competition is good. But at the same time, though, I wonder if it's enough. Like, think about it. What did they do? They upped their hero count, and I can already tell you right now, there's a lot of people, myself kind of included, which is kind of like, well, hang on. You guys just dropped 5 heroes in one season, and you're dropping another 5 throughout the rest of the year. That's 10 heroes this year. So you always could have released more heroes. You just chose not to. That said, though, there's also probably going to be a lot of Overwatch purists that are probably very upset with that news, where they're going to go, well, I don't want more heroes being upgraded to the game, right? I don't want more heroes being updated because the more heroes that are added, they're going to be slop and they're not going to be well refined, right? Tell me I'm wrong. I guarantee you'll find at least a few out there that are going to be very, very vocally loud saying that they're making a wrong decision and they're rivalifying the game. And then the casual player, I think, is just going to come in and play the new stuff and they're going to be really, really excited and have a good time, you know? That said, though, there's really no winning on either side for Overwatch because either you can try to make a bunch of content that people are going to come in and play. That's more casual people. But Overwatch every day becomes less and less casual friendly. And I view it as almost not as an outsider, but the last few months to the last year, I've got to see what those people talk about when they talk about Overwatch. Not in a, I hate that game type of sense, just like, yeah, I used to play it. Why don't you play it anymore type of way? And it's just not as easy to get back into as it used to be. Because the game has shifted more competitively, but the core competitive fans think that the game has shifted more casually in this game, and that it's not being catered to them. And they both have a good point with the top 500 leaderboard changes and rank changes. And they announced some of that stuff today, but they didn't actually say anything. They just said there's going to be changes coming to hero bans, map bans, stuff like that. There was no other announcements for it, though. They did announce some upcoming mythics. Mercy was actually on the bingo card. Technically I had Kiri on the bingo card, but one of the bingo card announcements was popular heroes like Kiri gets a second one. It was actually Mercy that ended up getting a second one. There was some World Cup news. There's the Hello Kitty collab. The big things I think that they did though were the cinematics. They did get people's attention. I think they will. Like, they look good. But is it enough to make people come back and play the game more? I don't know. What do you think? Because I will definitely play the new heroes. Like, they look cool. Like, I definitely want to come play the new heroes. But I'm wondering if it's enough to move the needle. Because I just finished a whole sponsorship section for it, which was great. You know, I appreciated it. I wanted to watch it. So getting to do that was awesome. But it wasn't even a full hour. Like, the first, like, 5 so minutes is a countdown, and then it was, like, 15 minutes at the end. I feel like there was so much more that they probably could have talked about, but they just didn't. So, like, the big announcement was the heroes, but I'm wondering if it's enough. I'm wondering if it's enough to move the needle. Like, what else could they do? I don't think there was no mention of, like, core game mode changes. Bullseye. I don't know what else, but to me, at least to me personally, I will play it. I want to give it a shot when I play it, but I wasn't as excited this time. Now, I'm sure playing all the new characters is going to be different, but maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I've just outgrown certain parts. But I was, even though a lot of the bingo stuff was pretty close, I was hoping for more, I think. I don't know what I was hoping for, but I was hoping slightly for more, in a way. That said, though, I am glad to see the new heroes. I think that's probably the thing I'm excited for the most. The new maps, well, they kind of teased the new maps, so they didn't really show them. You know, they kind of teased them, like I think they said 2 new maps is what they said, right? 2 new maps, I believe. 2 new maps, and then it looked like there was going to be some reworks or changes to certain maps. And then they also said that there was going to be hero reworks in the future to classic heroes, but they didn't say what those heroes are, you know? So it was a lot of teasing, you know what I mean? A lot of teasing. You know, I would have loved to hear, like, what characters are getting reworked. I would have loved to see more about the maps. I would have loved to see some of the things that they did tease, but they didn't talk about it. Are you dodging the 6v6 elephant in the room? No, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to talk about with 6v6. Like, I think 6v6 roll queue is the way for the game to, is the most fun. Your queue times would be too long, though, so they have to keep it the way it is. And then everyone's arguing 5v5, 6v6. Dude, what do you want from me? You know? For me, it's because the core has been damaged so much that it affected the community, and Rivals came out and actually did a lot what Overwatch couldn't do. And when you try to actually try it, or when they actually start to try, it came out as a cop-out because you're only trying now because of Rivals. And I have no problem with a company trying. You know what I mean? I think it did light a fire on them. I told you guys when I went to the Spotlight last year that I told you when I got back, it was the first time I ever talked to the Overwatch team and said to myself, they actually want to make this game better. And I told you guys non-stop at the time, no, I think they actually are going to try. I think they're actually going to do it. They're actually going to lock in. And I think they did with the heroes, for sure. But I'm just wondering what else could be done. You know? What else could actually get the attention? Because I actually can't even think of anything. I was hoping for more, in a weird way. I was hoping for something to blow my socks off. And I don't think anything blew my socks off other than the fact that they were going 10 heroes and Jetpack Cat. Jetpack Cat did blow my socks off. I ain't gonna lie, seeing Jetpack Cat actually made me very, very, very happy. I was that if you go back and look, I bet that's probably the most surprised I looked through the entire thing. And like, there's some of you guys who are like, well, I just don't think you like hero shooters. I don't think you just like Overwatch anymore. Brother, I still keep up with everything. How do you think if I barely played the game last year, how do you think I still know all this shit? I watch people's streams, I watch videos, I keep up with discussions. I just don't participate as much anymore. You just don't hear my voice as much anymore. It's not for lack of caring, it's just for the lack of, like, you know, why am I putting myself in the crossfire for something where I don't feel as confident speaking on? And also, it's like, I think that we could get more. I think the community could get more. I think the game could get more. And I don't think asking for that is so horrible. and it's not supposed to be offensive to you. It's not supposed to start shit with you. It's just for the more, you know, I think it could be more. So everyone keeps saying Rivals did what Overwatch wasn't, and I'm actually confused on what it was meant to have done. Well, I think what a lot of people talk about with that is Rivals is, in my opinion, pretty generous with its free rewards. Very generous, actually, with its free rewards. And then Overwatch ended up being more generous with like the loot boxes and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, wait, they wouldn't have given us that if it wasn't for. We talk about hero releases, hero bans, right? Those were two things that they kind of just straight up yoinked, you know? And it's like, obviously games are going to take things from each other. There's another problem with that. But I think that just Overwatch is just, for a lot of people, just like deeply damaged for them. And people still talk about the PvE thing to this day, but I think that's such a nothing burger now. Like, the PvE thing's such a nothing burger. It's so, like, it's whatever, you know? But when Rivals did its PvE for October, for Halloween, it was fun. It was actually pretty good. And I think that they could have done it 10 times better. You know, I think they could have done it 100 times better, and they even acknowledged that. Like, they came out and said, like, we kind of just tried this. We didn't expect people were going to love it so much. We'll try to make it even better in the future. And those are things that people were looking for years, not to have to harass the game and the company for, but, like, they wanted it to just show up. Now, if you don't want PvE, that's totally fine. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, like, in general, what I think general sentiment of, like, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. You get what I'm saying? But overall, I thought it was very good. I think that was probably the best it could have been, genuinely. I just was really hoping that something was going to be like, holy shit, we're so back, this is awesome. I'm actually very surprised they didn't bring back loot box, or not loot boxes, they didn't bring back old battle passes. I really thought they were gonna. I thought they were going to bring back old battle passes. And what are the other things? Actually, let me look at the bingo card. I'll tell you the things I'm really surprised where it didn't happen. I'm surprised there was no Lord Portrait equivalent. I'm actually very surprised at that. This actually did get changed or mentioned, but they didn't say what it was. They did talk about this, but didn't show what it was. And they talked about stadium stuff, but it wasn't a roguelike. They just basically streamlined the version that they currently have, which is like the recommendations on stuff. They said there's stuff coming for 10-year anniversary, but didn't actually say anything. World Cup. There was the Hello Kitty, but I don't know if that's considered as an anime, whatever. They did talk about reworks, but they didn't talk about what they were going to be or who they were for. No mini battle pass, which is fine. They did bring this back, yes. But yeah, I was really hoping for a little more. I don't know, but I don't know what it could have been. That's why I asked you guys, but nobody said anything that was like kind of blew me away. I was hoping for something innovative, you know? And in the most respectful way I can say it, it felt like it was a lot of Rivals copies, but good things. Copying very good things from Rivals. Like, they're going to be very good for the game. But there was nothing innovative. There was also that screen, the main menu screen, that kind of just looked like Fortnite, you know? How are the Heroes Rivals copies? Well, hold on. I'm not saying the Heroes are Rivals copies. There are similarities in the kit, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the upping the hero count from 3 a year to 5 at release and then 10 for the year, that's straight up a Rivals idea, which is good. That is a good thing. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it is a good thing. Listen to the words. But it's not innovative. It's just Rivals did it. We're going to do it too. And it's a very good thing for the game, I think. And I will play it, and I think I will enjoy it. I was just looking for innovation on some level. New heroes, new map, new UI, new rework, old content, new designs. Innovation is ideas and things not seen or done before. The characters could be copies, but the mechanics are not new either. Not like the Rivals, completely new or revolutionary either, SMH. Yeah, true, Rivals does a lot of things that are copying too. Absolutely. I think they absolutely do. But they did do some things first, you know? Like, they were the first ones to move on the faster hero cadence. They were the first ones to move on hero bans. They were the first ones to move on the faster maps. They were the first ones to move on the multi-destructible characters. They were the first to move on multi-role heroes. There are other games that do hero bans for a long time? Absolutely. And Overwatch has had the discussion of hero bans since 2018, and they refused to do it because they didn't want to shake the community. then another hero shooter comes out, does it well, and was in the game within 2 months. That's what I mean. I think Flats was looking for some level of innovation like Deadlock. I mean, not totally like all the way to Deadlock, but that's dude. Stadium last year is what blew me away. Like, I was so wide-eyed about Stadium. Like, it was just like, wow, this shit's actually like, they're doing new shit. They're doing different shit. But yeah. So that said, though, I guess the way I wanted to wrap all of it is, I mean, it was really good. Like, it was lots of good things, but I don't know. I want to play them I want to play all the new characters. The new characters, I think, is the thing that's probably going to get like my attention the most, you know? But I don't personally feel like that moved the needle enough for me to be like, wow, this is so back. Wow, this is awesome. Like this is going to be like the coolest shit. Like, this year is going to be great. Like, it's going to be good. Like, they clearly put in a lot of effort. They clearly stepped their game up in the hero department. They clearly, like, want to fight with rivals and compete, but there just wasn't any innovation. And, like, for me, I played Overwatch for the last 9 years. I streamed it for the last 5.5, give or take. I've done everything, you know? I'll play new characters when they come out, but yeah, I agree with progress is progress. Yeah, progress is always progress, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, bringing attention to them, actually caring about the lore and making lore-based seasons and lore-focused. Yeah, the cinematic was gas. I'm actually very surprised that they went all in and they actually decided to do the old versions of cinematics, which is what I think they needed to do. That was the correct decision. Doomfist got his arm chopped off and he got kicked off a cliff. The cinematic was gas. If they did that more often, I think people would be even more invested. I think that's the thing that'll probably get people's, like, people will see the cinematic more than they'll see all the updates for the season. But yeah, those the sub-base rules. I mean, the sub-base rules thing is cool, but like, move the needle cool? I don't know. It'll be nice though.